everybody, Sticks here at the Token Minorities, bringing you another deck on Pokemon TCGO, and no, your eyes do not deceive you. With the, I guess, release of Steam Siege, I decided that this channel should take, I guess, a little bit of a turn in terms of the Pokemon TCGO content that it puts out, and so I decided to really just kind of venture into Expanded and Legacy, and over the last month or two, I have been collecting enough Expanded and Legacy cards to be able to put out some very solid decks for you guys, just to, you know, well, no pun intended, but expand the scope of what I am showing you guys in terms of these videos. And the first deck I decided to bring to you from those older formats is a Ho-Oh EX Xerneas deck that was, I believe, piloted by Eli Kovitz in, wasn't it Regionals or something like that? And either way, it's just a very, very awesome, like, kind of just not necessarily well-known type of deck like Night March or Darkrai or something like that, but it is still a very, very, very cool deck that is incredibly effective. So, you know what? I also almost forgot the question of the day. What is your favorite card from the Black and White era? Please leave that in the comments section below. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. If I had to choose mine, it would easily be Keldeo EX, because Keldeo is my favorite Pokemon, and this card also was so amazing in the game, and you can kind of just throw it into almost any expanded deck because of the rush in and retreat. So Keldeo is just an awesome card that can also function as attacker, really just kind of a versatile card that you can throw into almost any deck. But anyway, you know what? I'm done rambling. Let's just go ahead and jump into the cards of this deck. Like I said, this deck is centered around Xerneas from Breakthrough with 120 HP, so I mean, not bad, but not great. If it had 130, that would actually be a lot better. But it has 2 attacks, and there's only one that we're going to be focusing on in this entire deck, and that is Rainbow Force. This attack for a Fairy and a DCE does 10 damage plus 30 for each different type of Pokemon on your bench. So I mean, we are running just a ton of different types of Pokemon to power that up as quickly and as efficiently as possible. And really, with this deck, you can kind of just hit for a massive amount of damage in one turn. And really, the only thing that we're running more than one copy of in terms of type is Fire type with Ho-Oh and Normal type with Shaman. But I mean, Shaman is just kind of Shaman with that whole setup ability, and especially because we're running Skyfield, and Shaman actually boosts attack and has more good and does more good in this deck besides just sit on the bench and take up a spot after you use it. So Shaman is actually decent in this deck, not gonna lie. We're also running one Yveltal EX for, I mean, I guess our Dark type, and Evil Ball is just a great attack. So is Y Cyclone to like throw a DCE onto an not an Yveltal, a Xerneas on the bench, and this is one of the few instances where Xerneas and Yveltal will be working together for the greater good. We're running not one Xerneas. Why do I keep saying that? We're running 4 Xerneas because this is the main attacker, but as I will get into a little bit later, this deck can run a pretty high myriad of attackers. So I mean, it's not just Xerneas, but Xerneas is the focus. For the fighting, we are running one Gallade with the Sensitive Blade and the Premonition. Just an awesome card. Really helps out with the item lock matchup because you're able to control pretty well what you top deck. Running 3 Ho-Oh. This Ho-Oh is really just kind of what drives this deck. The Rebirth ability. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is in your discard pile, you may flip a coin. If heads, put this Pokemon onto your bench and attach 3 different types of basic energy from your discard pile to this Pokemon. And then also has the Rainbow Burn, which you never really use, although sometimes you can actually end up using it against like Night March or something if you're really hard pressed to find a knockout, so you can. But really, this Ho-Oh is just kind of a free bench spot. I mean, Battle Compressor can almost immediately turn into a Ho-Oh with a couple different energy on it. And because we're running a bunch of energy switch, Ho-Oh can help power up attackers in a single turn just because of that rebirth and attachment. For the grass, we're running 1 Execute. Now, you will rarely ever put Execute on your bench. I mean, that's just if you need an extra 30 damage and don't have a way of getting somebody something else. But Execute is more often than not just something that sits in your discard pile and helps you control what you have to discard with like Ultra Ball and Computer Search and stuff like that. But like I also said, in a pinch, it can add an extra 30 damage to Xerneas' attack. As our Steel type, we're running Jirachi EX. Jirachi and Shaman just kind of go hand in hand a little bit in this generation. Well, not this generation, this format. Because Jirachi has the Stellar Guidance, which is kind of like setup. I mean, it gets you a supporter, which makes you use your supporter for the turn. But, I mean, it's really good with, like, Maxie's Hidden Ball Trick, or if you only have a Jirachi in your hand, you can just play it down, grab a Lysander, grab a Juniper, whatever you need at the time. So Jirachi is lesser than Shaman, but it's still a very, very, very good card nonetheless. Hoopa is another fantastic card to have in this deck because Scoundrel Ring lets you get 3 Pokemon EX from your deck, and because we're running Skyfield, we have bench spots to spare, so you can grab a Shaman, a Keldeo, an Yveltal, a Ho-Oh, Jirachi, anything that you want with Hoopa. Oh, and also playing it on your bench powers up Xerneas a little more. And like I said earlier, we're running 1 Keldeo because Russian and Retreat Keldeo is my favorite card in the black-white format, and Eli Kovitz ran that in this deck, and can you blame him? It's such a splashable card in almost any deck, and it powers up Xerneas, so what more do you need? As for the trainers, we're running 4 Battle Compressor to throw Ho-Oh, Execute, and Energy into the discard pile. You're almost always going to be using your manual attachment for the turn for the DCEs. So Battle Compressor gets the regular energy into the discard pile so you can most effectively use Ho-Oh's Rebirth, and also use Execute if you need it for like Computer Search and Ultra Ball. Speaking of which, running Computer Search, just an amazing, amazing card. It's so consistent, gets you any single card out of your deck that you need. Running 4 Energy Switch because we are running Ho-Oh. We really don't want the energy on Ho-Oh. We want to like put the Dark Energy onto the Yveltal, the Fairy Energy onto the Xerneas, and the Water Energy onto Keldeo or something like that. So while you have the energy on Ho-Oh from Rebirth, you just play the energy switches to put them where you need. 4 Trainer's Mail to help with consistency. 4 Ultra Ball to guaranteed get anything out. I think like the only things you can get with like Level Ball are Execute and Jirachi, so there's absolutely no reason to run that at all. Ultra Ball is just an amazing card to be running in general. 4 VS Seeker to reuse our supporters. 1 Colress, because I mean we're using Skyfield, so if you have a full bench, even if your opponent has nothing, that's still an 8-card Colress, which is better than Juniper, especially because you'll be able to put the stuff back in your deck instead of discarding it. 1 Lysander, because Lysander is amazing. 1 Maxie's Hidden Ball Trick to try to use the Gallade. I mean, you won't necessarily always be having a Gallade that you'll be able to get out, but it's just kind of a 2-card tech that you can throw into the deck. That can help out and is really, really nice when you are able to pull it off, but the deck strategy is in no way centered around getting that out. Running 1 N because N is such an amazing supporter for late game, kind of just really disrupting your opponent, disrupting Night March, trying to keep them from being able to get the cards they need. 3 Juniper for guaranteed consistency. 4 Skyfield because, I mean, you want to have as many Pokemon of different types on the bench for Xerneas as possible. 2 Fighting Fury Belt to give longevity to the Xerneas, Yveltal, Ho-Oh, really whatever you're attacking with apart from the Gallade. 2 Float Stone to get those dang Ho-Ohs and Keldeo out of the active position. Kelstone, I believe is what it was called, is just great for rushing in and retreating, basically giving everything on your team free retreat. 4 DCE, because that is what you want to be running in this deck. And then 1/1 of Dark and Water, basically for Rebirth and for Yveltal and Keldeo. And then 3 Fairy Energy to power up the Xerneas. So that is the deck. It is really, really fun to use, and I highly recommend you guys try this out if you can. But you know what? Let's just go ahead and see this deck in action for my first non-standard TCGO live. Alrighty, we have found one against Revotatis, or however you want to say that. And guys, just a warning, I apologize if you can hear the rain in the background. It just started raining as I'm recording, so sorry about that. But anyway, on to the match. We do win the coin flip, so that is great. We do get to go first. I mean, this deck can potentially attack first turn. I mean, well, if you go second, this deck can potentially attack immediately if you get the right combination of cards. And it looks like we are going up against a Garchomp Carbink Break deck, which isn't the worst thing in the world. I mean, we actually have a pretty decent matchup in this, but we start with one of the worst things possible, and that is a Jirachi. Potentially the only worst thing would be starting with a Ho-Oh. However, the rest of my hand is actually pretty decent, and from the looks of it, I'm almost positive that I can get a first turn Maxis, so that's actually pretty cool. I'm going to double Battle Compressor immediately, get both Ho-Ohs and an Execute in there, as well as 3 different energy, so that I can go for the Rebirth. And then, alright, I'm trying to figure out what's the proper combination of cards so that I can get a first turn Maxis with the Gallade. I mean, that's That's really what I want to go for. Unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to play down the Ho-Oh, which is not something I want to do. Unfortunately, because my Jirachi is out there, I cannot computer search for an Ultra Ball and then Ultra Ball for the Jirachi to get the Ho-Oh in the discard pile. But, I mean, I'm going to have to play this down, and it hurts because you really only want to be using Ho-Oh when you rebirth, because then you get all of the energy and whatnot. But we still get a Maxi, so it's not the end of the world, and we actually draw pretty decently off those 5 cards, and then I have a VS Seeker for Juniper next turn, so pretty solid start, not the end of the world. And wow, I'm actually going to be able to get nearly a full bench this turn if I want. What I think I am going to go ahead and do is grab an energy switch, hopefully get, a Ho-Oh, or hopefully get one of the 2 Ho-Oh for the head so that I can get something else. But I think I'm just going to go ahead and grab, I think, the Hoopa, and then I'll just Hoopa for a single Shaman. I mean, I know in many decks that is not what you want to do, but in this deck you really want to have as many different types of Pokemon on the bench as possible. So Hoopaing for a Shaman is actually a pretty solid thing to do. And then what I am going to do right here is go ahead and rebirth once. I got it on the first try, so that is great, meaning that I can energy switch onto the Xerneas on my bench. Unfortunately, my Yveltal is prized, so that's gonna stink a little bit. But I mean, I'll probably be able to draw it later, or Xerneas will just hit for enough damage to where it won't matter. And okay, so I don't get a DCE at all this first turn. I think I'm just gonna Premonition, see what I can get before I decide to play my energy down or not. And I think I am just gonna put the energy switch first. Yeah, that'll be... Is that the play? Do I want to make that play? Yeah, because what I can do is draw into the fairy energy next turn in case, like, my Jirachi gets knocked out or something. And I'm actually in a pretty decent spot to start off with. What I can do is just immediately retreat my Jirachi. Do I want to go into my Ho-Oh or my Xerneas? Yeah, I think Xerneas is the better play, just because Ho-Oh I could retreat, but I kind of want to have those energy on board just in case I need them. So, you know what? That was a pretty amazing first turn. That's less amazing, but what I can actually do is get rid of that Ho-Oh, get rid of a Shaman, and then, probably, what do I want to do? I might, I could get rid of my other Ho-Oh because I can just rebirth, but yeah, I'm just going to go for the Hoopa. I mean, I could have gotten the damage I needed anyway. Well, I'm going to have the damage I need next turn because I play the Skyfield down, play the Xerneas down, and boom, I have 190 damage on the board, just being able to hit for a ton. So I'd rather just keep that energy in play so that the energy switch that I'm going to draw won't go to waste. There we go, energy switch. I think the water energy onto the Xerneas. I want to save the dark energy for in case I draw an Yveltal somewhere along the line as one of my prizes. And then what I think I'm going to go ahead and do is, yeah, I'm just going to Juniper. Get rid of that VS Seeker, which is a little unfortunate, and up there are all of my DCEs. So just going to get another Xerneas powered up in the background. What I can do is, I don't know, do I want to rebirth? I don't think it's not worth it because I don't have any energy in my discard pile. But I am just going to go ahead and Premonition, grab that Float Stone first to throw onto the Keldeo. I have plenty of other stuff going on, so all I need is that Float Stone for next turn. I will be able to knock out the Regirock right here and take a prize. If it's Yveltal, then that is just amazing. If not, no big deal. Well, it's another DCE. So we have more DCEs right now than we could ever want, ever. And what I think I'm going to do is go ahead and probably play the DCE onto the Gallade so I have another attacker ready to go. I mean, I can always just energy switch onto my Xerneas on the bench from a Ho-Oh's rebirth. So I'm still in a great position. Unfortunately, I won't be able to knock out this Lucario next turn just because I only have 160 damage on the board with what I am currently sitting with. So, I mean, it's unfortunate, but it's not the end of the world. I am just going to slap the Float Stone onto the Keldeo. Yeah, go ahead and play the energy so I have a guaranteed Xerneas in case my opponent ends. And then I'm just going to Rainbow Force. This Xerneas might get knocked out next turn, but it's not that big of a deal because I already have a Xerneas powered up on the bench. I can get 130 damage with my Gallade if I need to later, which it looks like I will probably need to onto that Garchomp, which, well, it's not a Garchomp yet, and we see the enhanced armor. That's gross. That's really gross. Okay, so I guess I will have to play the DCE onto my Xerneas on the bench. Awesome. But, okay, my opponent, with that last energy, will barely be able to knock us out. I mean, that's... With the Fighting Fury Belt, he's lucky he got that last energy. Otherwise, a simple Corkscrew Smash wouldn't have done enough. And my opponent will be able to take one prize, but you know what? I'll be able to just immediately retaliate with my Xerneas, even get another Xerneas to throw onto there. Can't rebirth, I'm just checking to see what's on my discard pile, if there's anything worth VS Seekering, but let's go ahead and play another Xerneas down. And then, you know what, let's just go ahead and Rainbow... Oh, whoops, I forgot to Premonition this turn, and I'm pretty sure I forgot to Premonition last turn. But, whatever, we're in a good enough position where it doesn't matter. Wow, get another DCE and another Xerneas. So I am swimming in DCEs and Xernei, I don't know. But there's the Garchomp. Really doesn't matter, my opponent, even if he can somehow knock me out through like some wizardry or something like that. I think you need a Strong Energy, a Muscle Band, and a Giovanni Scheme to knock out this Xerneas, but I mean, he already has the Fighting Fury Belt, so there's no way he can knock me out, and you know what? This is going to be the game right here. I'm just, you know what? How much damage do I want to go for? Let's go ahead and put the DCE onto the Glade, just because, in case, like, for some reason my math's weird. You know what? Let's go for as much overkill as possible. Let's propagate with the Execute to be able to play that onto the bench, and oh, my opponent saw what I was doing, won't let me get any more damage, so that's a little sad. Yeah, you can see I'm trying to complete this daily challenge with Xerneas, and actually if I just straight up attacked, I would have completed it, but I did not because I got greedy and I deserve what I got. So you know what, let's just go ahead and try to find another one with this deck. It worked beautifully, and let's hope we can duplicate that. Alrighty, we have found one against Emma 1988 with, is that like a Vespiquen deck or something like that? I don't know. It was like Psychic, Steel, and Grass, and Normal, and I don't know if there was even any more, but we do lose the coin flip, which is unfortunate, but I might get to show off if this deck is able to go for that first turn. Well, depending on what I top deck, I don't know. It's not looking good based on what I drew. And okay, this is a Vespiquen. Then I didn't see Flareon, but that might just have been because there were too many types. Okay, Vespiquen Flareon deck. So this is going to be a very competitive match, which I am actually really looking forward to. This should be fun. And I mean, his deck is a little bit more competitive, actually a lot more competitive than mine. This one was, I mean, Eli Kovitz obviously used it to win a states or something, states, regionals, whichever it was, and he was able to win one with it, so, or do really, really well. I don't remember if he won it. I think he was like top 8, but either way, gonna be a great match. I mean, my opponent gets a pretty solid start. I mean, he's already able to get a Flareon going. He has a Combee active, so I really just have to hope that I'm able to get a turn 1 Rainbow Force off on him, or I'm just going to get run over by his, his hard hitters in Vespiquen and Flareon. So, okay, my opponent is going to use the N, which is phenomenal for me, meaning that I don't have to deal with this horrible hand that I was dealt. I mean, if I got a VS Seeker, then it wouldn't have been the end of the world, but as it stood right there, that was not a very good hand. And we get something a lot better. That is what I like to see. What I can probably do when my turn starts is Ultra Ball for a Hoopa to grab like 2 or 3 Ho-Ohs or whatever I'm feeling, and then just go from there. Wow, my opponent's got a fantastic start as well, but I need this turn 1, otherwise I will not be able to keep up with my opponent's deck. So, let's see, gonna go ahead and Trainer's Mail, get a Chorus, and what I can actually potentially do is get off a Maxie's maybe, but I actually, and you know what, I don't really need a Maxie's. I'm just gonna go ahead and go for the consistent approach to get as many cards as possible because I need that turn 1, like I said, so I can't risk grabbing, I can't risk not getting it, so I'm just going to go ahead and Hoopa for 3 Ho-Oh. I mean, if it's... There you go. There's the animation that I like to see. Gonna go ahead and Ultra Ball 2 of them away to grab probably... You know what? Gallade or Execute. Yeah, let's go ahead and get rid of the Gallade. What I can then do is go ahead and Ultra Ball to get rid of the Ho-Oh and the Gallade to grab a... You know what? Do I want to grab a Shaman or another Xerneas? Let's go ahead and grab a Shaman, I think, just to draw some more cards, see what else we can get. I could have gotten a turn 1 Maxis, but I decided against it. I mean, I really didn't need that, and like I said, I need more than the 5 cards. And okay, there we go. I get a DCE onto that Xerneas, get another Xerneas onto the bench ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and Jirachi, probably for a Juniper, just so I can guaranteed get some better cards. And even though I'm getting rid of a DCE, which hurts a little bit, it's not the end of the world. And okay, I can work with this. So I have 3 Ho-Ohs in the discard pile. What I have to do is get rid of 2 energy. Oh, my Dark Surprised. That's bad. Yeah, just go ahead and get rid of 3 energy and then Computer Search for a Skyfield. Yeah, let's grab a VS Seeker so I'm able to do something next turn. And I'm actually in a very, very good position. I mean, assuming I just don't get ridiculously unlucky on these flips, I will be able to get a knockout on the Combi turn 1, which is phenomenal for this deck. I mean, it really stinks that I've gone through over half my deck, actually almost 2/3 of it, and I haven't even gotten a Fighting Fury belt yet. But I mean, that's okay as long as I get one in a little bit. And oh no, please no, please no. Oh my god, wow, oh my god. I cannot believe that just happened. I went over 3 on the Ho-Ohs when a single one would have gotten me a knockout and put me in a great position. Oh, that is so frustrating. I'm salty. I'm a little bit salty right now. But, I mean, you know what? It's not the end of the world. Actually, it could be, depending on how fast my opponent gets going. Because, I don't know, he could very well knock out this Xerneas this turn if he gets the proper combination of cards. And, yeah, he's just filling up his discard pile with Pokemon to be able to knock me out. And, yeah, he had the Vespiquen. That's phenomenal. That is very frustrating to see, but I mean, there's nothing we can do about it. If a 12% chance wants to happen, then it's gonna happen. I mean, luckily he doesn't have enough Pokemon in his discard pile right now to knock me out, so I can kind of hang my hat on that ish. But I don't know, 2/3 of my deck, and I didn't find a Fighting Fury belt, and I went through 3 Ho-Ohs and went 0 for 3 on the coin flip. So I don't know. Hopefully that's not indicative of how this match is going to go, but luckily my opponent doesn't seem to have drawn a DCE or anything yet, so we might have dodged a bullet, which I'm really wait, he's going for the Shaman? I mean, I guess if he doesn't have anything in his hand, then that works too, but wait, if he had the level ball, then why did he put the DCE on the Shaman? Couldn't he have just went ahead, level balled for a Jirachi, gotten the Sycamore or whatever my opponent wanted to go for, and then like play the DCE onto the Vespiquen in order to get some damage off? I don't know, I'm kind of questioning that play. I think it would have been better to put the DCE onto the Vespiquen and then try to discard Pokemon with whatever he drew and just go from there. But I don't know, to each their own. And okay, so my opponent is just going to Sky Return, which unfortunately puts me in KO range currently of a Vespiquen. I mean, it's assuming I don't draw a Fighting Fury belt, which, I mean, I'm going to Juniper this turn, so, I mean, I should definitely draw one. I have 2 in my deck, and I do know that 1 is not prized, so that is great, and no way. I'm going to draw my other DCE. Wow, the game does not like me at all right now. I'm just getting so, no way. Please don't tell me I'm going to go 0 for 3 again, because that would just suck. Oh, thank you, Lord. But, alright, so we get 1 rebirth out of 6, which is kind of dumb, but I mean, you play with what you got. And all right, so I think, I can just chorus actually, instead of having to get rid of my DCE. I can just chorus for 11, which would pretty much guarantee me that I would get that Fighting Fury belt, which would come in amazingly handy right now. I mean, I really need one. So let's hope that I can get one. I don't get one. How did I not get one? I drew How many cards did I draw? I drew 11 cards and I didn't draw a Fighting Fury Belt. Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, at least we get the Veltal, which actually wasn't prized. Wait, no, that was last game. I don't know. All these games are running together at this point. Too many cards up in the air, but wow. First turn, I didn't get a rebirth on Ho-Oh. I went 0 for 3. Second turn, I draw into all but 11 of the cards in my deck, and I can't get any of the 2 Fighting Fury Belts. Oh, this is bad. This is looking very, very bad for me at this point. I mean, I'm still going to play it out because I think I can pull it out if I need to. But either way, my opponent, unless he doesn't draw a DCE, which would be absolutely amazing for me, but in all likelihood, my opponent's going to get the DCE and be able to knock out the Xerneas. At least I have one that will be able to respond immediately. But I don't know. I'm a little off right now just because of the luck that's being done to me. And look at that. If we had drawn a Fighting Fury Belt, we would have lived that turn. So, single tear is rolling down my cheek at this point. I mean, there's nothing at all I can do about it. I've played this as best I could and couldn't get anything going, but I mean, I'm going to go ahead and Battle Compressor. Okay, so 1 Fighting Fury Belt is prized, but still, you would have thought that I would be able to get something else going, and I'm just going to get rid of a Floatstone in the Sky Field, just because Vespiquen Vileplume maybe runs like 1 Stadium, and that's the, what is that? That's the Parallel City. So, I mean, that could come back to hurt in the end, but what I think I'm going to do is just, yeah, I need to discard something. So I'm just going to discard the VS Seeker just to use that, maybe draw into it. And oh my goodness, I still don't draw into the Fighting Fury Belt. What is going on right now? I went fishing so hard for that, and I couldn't get one. Wow. Okay, all right. Salt, let's take the salt level, and then let's lower it right now. All right, we're all good. We're still going to win this. I have faith. I have enough cards right now to where I think I can do this, and let's just knock out the Vespiquen and take another prize. So, okay, we're good. We are all good in the hood. I mean, my opponent more than likely has the means to knock me out, but I can go into an Yveltal, and I can't even Juniper for that Fighting Fury Belt at this point, just because I will deck out. If my opponent plays down a Shaman or a Jirachi, then I might be able to Lysander that up and take a prize, but hopefully my opponent, never mind, my opponent has it. Just kidding, and he has a Sycamore, so, well, maybe I can deck him out somehow, I don't know. But he will be able to knock out this Xerneas, which is a little bit unfortunate. But what I can do is just put up the Yveltal. I mean, worst case scenario, I do that and then do the energy switch. But what I can do immediately is go ahead and put the energy onto it. Energy switch from the Ho-Oh onto the Yveltal. What I would have liked that turn is to draw into my Xerneas somehow, but unfortunately I can't. So what I'm just going to go ahead and do is rely on Yveltal for the time being. Just Evil Ball, take out the Vespiquen, and just kind of pray that my opponent doesn't have anything else going this turn. And hey, there's another Fighting Fury Belt. Could have used that a little while ago, but okay. We're not in a bad position. We have a pretty solid chance to win at this point. Because I have a very, very bulky Yveltal out there. My opponent can just not Lysander. My opponent can almost knock me out, but I don't think he can. Never mind. There's the Lysander. I jinxed myself. That's sad. But Vengeance will get the knockout on my Keldeo. My opponent will go down to 2 prizes. And honestly, all that I have right now rests on this Yveltal. I get a Trainer's Mail. Let's see. What can I do? I don't know what I could knock out the Flareon, but I need to somehow keep my opponent from having another Lysander. Ooh, VS Seeker. Oh, an N will do it. So I'm going to end my opponent down to 2, and then just pray that he can't do anything else. What I think I'm going to go ahead and do right now is, actually if I N, I'll be able to probably draw into a Juniper next turn. And, oh, there we go. Okay, I'm just going to play the DCE onto the Yveltal so I can get the knockout with a Y Cyclone, potentially. And, yeah, let's just go for the N. And then, all right, come on, guys. This game has not been kind to us so far in terms of luck, but I have faith. I think we're going to be able to come back right now, especially with that Xerneas. That Xerneas is very nice because what I can do, if I can survive next turn, is go ahead and put the DCE onto the Xerneas and then just kind of go from there. Because I can just retreat my Eviltal into a Xerneas next turn if I have to, and then... Alright, so let's hope my opponent didn't get the cards he needed to be able to knock me out. I mean, he has 3 cards out of, what is that, a 15-card deck. So he has 3 cards. He needs some way of discarding more Pokemon, because right now he doesn't have enough to knock out my Eviltal, and he needs a DCE. So I'm honestly just really, really hoping that he doesn't have it. I'm hoping that my N will stick and that the Nevermind... Well, okay, so he has a Battle Compressor. He has 1 of the cards that he needs to be able to beat me. And I'm honestly just hoping that he doesn't have, like, a Blacksmith or a DCE or something like that, because, I don't know, I figure we are owed, we are owed a little bit of luck at this point. Okay, the Life Dew, not a big... Oh my god, of course he got the DCE. Oh my god. We just lost. Oh, that's ridiculous. So, let's do a quick recap of that game. Went 0 for 3 on coin flips on Ho-Oh in turn 1. I did not draw a Fighting Fury belt until... Well, I went through 5/6 of my deck and didn't draw a Fighting Fury belt, and my opponent got exactly the cards he needed off an end 2 out of a 15-card deck to beat me, so... Sorry, I'm a little bit salty right now. I'm trying to be positive. I mean, that was still a fantastic game, and you got to see exactly what this deck did, but I'm a little salty because of the luck that my opponent got against me. But you know what? That's Pokemon. It happens. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. And this is Styx signing out. Why not? See you guys.